Hello friends, I'm Phoebe. I'm on a music discovery journey and I would love for you to join me for the ride. Now I'm going to be checking out artists, both old, new and everything in between, because I've fallen behind on music over the years and I felt like I've been living under a rock for a lot of that. Even though I've listened to a lot of music, there are just so many that I haven't had the chance or the pleasure of finding out about just yet or listening to. And so I want to fill in the blanks, and setting up this channel was a good reason to do that. So if you like the sound of that, please like and subscribe. I am currently listening to Sleeptoken. Now I've checked out 3 of their tracks, The Summoning, Take Me Back to Eden and Look to Windward. One of them is from their most recent album, Even in Arcadia, and 2 of them are from their last album, Take Me Back to Eden. Now, they're really interesting, and I've seen them live at Download Festival earlier this year. I thought they were fantastic. I had kind of vaguely listened to their latest 2 albums, but I wasn't listening to them properly, in the sense of I was kind of half listening to them while I was doing other things, like working, getting ready, not fully concentrating. And so there are a lot of already I realized that I wasn't very familiar with their stuff, so I wanted to use this as an excuse to sit down and listen. Now, whilst I have been sharing my reactions, some people have said the best advice they can offer is starting from the beginning and working our way to the present date, and that is because they have some tracks that have callbacks to other songs that have references in them that might be quite cool or might be quite useful to wait until later. So we are going to go right back to the start, or at least as far as I know, to their first EP, which is called One. And the first track on that is Thread the Needle. So we're going to check that out. And we're also probably going to check out the other 2, Fields of Elation and When the Bow Breaks. Now then, that's 3 in 1, and I'm here for it. I might be starting and stopping throughout, making notes and observations throughout as well, because that's how I process things. So I hope you enjoy, and if you don't like that, I'll link all 3 below. If you want to just listen to all of those in full without my ramblings and commentary, then there you go. All right. And everyone else, let's jump in to Thread the Needle.
Bury me inside this labyrinth bed.
Vocals.
We can feel that time is dilated. We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle.
He said the thing.
Time and time again. You turn the lights down. Come on, and find out. You turn the lights down. Come on, and find out. Something to confide in.
I just want to touch on it. This is mesmerizing, by the way. I'm just like, what's going to happen next? It's very mysterious. Obviously, anonymous band. and they're not going to be revealing who they are. It's going to be very mysterious, as you would kind of expect, even though I try not to have expectations. But that's what I'm getting here. They're giving very little, and it's open to interpretation, and that's really cool, and that's quite creative in itself. The lyrics so far, it says, buried me inside this labyrinth bed. We can feel that time is dilated. That's quite poetic, about saying that time is dilated, like pupils dilate, expanding, or would that be a correct way of saying that? It's an interesting way to describe time. We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle. They said the thing, time and time again. You turn the lights down. Come and find out. Is that like? Is this something to confide in as well? Like they are wants to lie together for comfort, perhaps. Oh, and that got my attention. It just sounded really cool. It was almost like a bending of time. It felt like that kind of effect.
Come on, oh, I'm fine now.
Oof.
Something to confide in, something to erase. Just look where we're lying, invisible space. We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle, time and time again.
Oh my god.
You turn the lights down. Come on, I'm fine now. You turn the lights down. Come on, I'm fine now.
Wow. Oh my god. I thought that was going to stop way earlier than it went. Way earlier than it did. The bit where he had the apple, that's like, that must be like an Adam and Eve reference, right? The forbidden fruit. Come with me, come and take the forbidden fruit. I'm wondering, do I just want to do one at a time? Because there's a lot to digest here. I think it would be doing it justice if I did one at a time. Because there's a lot here. Let's go back to the lyrics. I've actually got Genius lyrics out now because there's a lot there. I also want to go back to the video. It was like the whole time bending, things flashing before your eyes. It's all like, it's all a bit of a blur, but it's like a dreamy like person that is offering up this apple, and then the other visuals, there was a heart. It looked like a heart was just there. The feet, didn't really know what that was about, but it was just, it gave it that real gritty feeling. It made the back of the hairs, I can't even speak, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I'm getting shudders now. That was just so intriguing. Bury me inside this labyrinth bed. Labyrinth is from Greek mythology. It's a maze that continuously grows and changes to make it difficult and impossible to escape. By referring to the bed as a labyrinth, he's suggesting he cannot escape the bed, even if he wanted to. Yeah, that's what it seemed like from the start. We can feel that time is dilated. Time is expanding. Yes. Open and wide. Most likely referring to the feeling of losing time to something you love over maybe a habit or focus. That's interesting. Maybe this whole offering of the apple is like a giving in to temptation or offering up temptation, and you could lose track of time doing that for sure. We can spend the night in fascination. You thread the needle time and time again. Thread the needle is saying used to highlight skillfully navigating something difficult. Wait, thread the needle is a saying used to highlight skillfully navigating something difficult. Yes. This lyric can be interpreted to mean that the other person in bed in this relationship is skillfully avoiding something difficult, possibly ending the relationship. Time and time again, though. Adding on time and time again means the skill is repeatedly being used to avoid conflict. Oh. Is that so? I wonder. Obviously this is open to interpretation, so this might not be completely accurate, but it's interesting to read different points of view. When he says you turn the lights down, come find out, it seems like he's inviting them to bed, but find out this, what does it say here? You turn the lights down. This could possibly suggest that the other person in the bed / relationship is purposely ignoring their lack of communication, commitment in the relationship, thereby turning the lights down so they can't see. Oh, you turn the lights down. Maybe. something to confide in, something to erase. The relationship was once a safe place, yet contradicting it with something to erase further suggests that the other person is trying to hide their relationship or end it, erase it. Yeah. Look at where we're lying, an invisible space. This can either be a literal bed that is being considered a safe space where they can escape, as it feels like time doesn't matter there, or it can be a reference to the relationship itself being invisible, unofficial. Yeah. That's interesting. Thread the Needle is the opening track to alternative metal band Sleeptoken's first EP, One. That is a correct fact. The first project released under Sleeptoken, Thread the Needle, introduces the ethereal voice of Vessel, balancing a delicate melody with a tension building to the heavy outburst, revealing Sleeptoken's ability to contrive deep, contrasting genres, reforming expectations of sound by adapting coarse, heavy soundscapes to sit along the delicate tone to their music. Okay, that's all that says. It was really well crafted. I really enjoyed that slow build up, the ethereal, did sound like ethereal, dreamy vocals, the high pitch, and then you had the real loud, heavy guitars and drums, I think, at the end, where it got real loud. Yeah. There. But it started off like that.
Bury me inside this.
See, it's just that calmer, quieter sound that builds to the real noise. But the visuals as well, that was really, really interesting. I almost want to do more live research while Thread the Needle video interpretations. So a lot of people are saying about navigating a difficult relationship, one that is dying, and trying to desperately hold what is left of it together. In the context of one as a whole, it's the death of relationship, moving from intimacy and connection to TTN, to break up and longing in FOE. To these are the other, maybe we don't need that because that's probably a spoiler. I'm not going to take too much from that in that case. But someone else said I kind of interpret it as a song about spending all day in bed with a lover. Someone else talks about it being very tender and intimate, vulnerable. It's really interesting how different interpretations can be taken from something, and I think that's one of the things that they do in their music is they're leaving it open to us. They're not telling us exactly what it is, but there are lots of theories around it, and lots of people can take what they believe to be something, and I just think that's really special, and a lot of it makes sense as well. You can have the same song that has been interpreted in 5 different ways and they would all still fit. So I think this is quite special. I am going to do these separate because I've talked your ears off for 21 minutes, but this is a really good start, and even going back to their first works, I'm glad it doesn't feel worlds away from what I know now. they are still, it doesn't mean their songs sound the same either. They have evolved as artists, they have created something purposefully, and they may have even crafted out how this would go, or at least some things. I think they seem to put a lot of thought into how they release things, where they release them, and what is all connected in this huge puzzle of meanings and symbolism and all the lore that goes with that. I think that's just incredible. And sometimes I worry that going back a number of years, it might be that they're still finding their feet, or they it might sound completely different, and that's also fine. They're artists. They don't think and act the same as they did 10, 20, 30 years ago, depending on how long they've been doing this for. And it's the same here. But it doesn't feel completely disconnected from what they are putting out at the moment. So that's really cool, actually. And it's like it stands the test of time. And that's not something that everyone can do. So that is just fascinating to me, and a point I wanted to make. But yes, so far I'm very excited, and I'm going to record the next one immediately after this because I'm intrigued. So keep an eye out for that. I am going to let you know in my post section what I'm going to do with these. If I can manage to post them onto YouTube, I might have like Sleeptoken Saturdays. Perhaps. We'll see what we can do, but I'll keep you updated, because this would be a very good series to have. Weekly feels like too far apart, but I've got a lot on at the moment, so let's see what we can do. It might be that I upload to Patreon first, and if you want to have a look at all of them, I'll put them here, and then I can schedule them and just make sure that they are all spaced out enough. But either way, I'm just really excited to be doing them. They're a really intriguing band, and they create such great art. So thank you so much for listening. I will hopefully see you for the next one. And bye-bye.